Good afternoon, everyone. Um, I'm thankful to ADPA for giving me this opportunity to talk about a diagnostic tool that I, with some of my colleagues, started developing 1.5 years back in 2014. And the purpose of this tool was to address some needs of students. Come on. Sorry. Which one is that? Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So basically, to help students getting there to take up the assumed knowledge that are expected of them when they start up a course at university, and also, one of the main reasons was because they are from different academic backgrounds, especially in Australian universities. They are where we have a multicultural background of students. They also have sometimes different academic background with different courses taught at the same level. And especially for students coming back after a gap. And we have quite a good number of students there at UNSW who sometimes coming back after, say, 5 years or 10 years, sometimes 20 years. I have 56-year-old students in my class. So, sometimes they find difficulty in recalling some concepts that they studied at high school, or they left when they were in first year at university and they are coming back now. And there's a need for an equivalent level of in-hand knowledge and skills for students who are going to enroll for the same course. And of course, there are other purposes. So the key provisions the tool does is to help students understand about a concept or an application, even if it's absolutely new for them from the scratch. And then there are ways in which they attempt problems and they know their mistakes. And then they get some feedback on their mistakes, which is adaptive, and in this way we prepare them for the intended courses and what they want to study and what they want to achieve at a later stage in their careers. So we basically work with multiple choice quizzes, which are developed with the help of students' questions in the classroom and during the consultation times that we hear from them, and their workouts, class tests, assignments, and their feedback on their exams and on their assignments and all that. And there's some measure of success that I'm quickly going through because I want you to actually take you to the tool and get you to play with it a little bit. So some measures from Google Analytics is that we have so far 35,000 worldwide sessions with 28,000 active users. And it says that, so there's some data there which shows about 4,000 sessions in Philippines, and then about 4,000 in Pakistan. Australia is next, and the list is big, and altogether there are 205 countries on the list with different number of sessions, as it depends on how much we pay to Google. So about that. And in Australia, we obviously the most sessions are conducted in New South Wales because most students of UNSW know about it. We are not doing any active marketing or any because we've just started. I mean, it's only 1.5 years. So we've just started talking about it to people like this in this conference. And okay, the topic usage. So some key algebra topics are there. And the biggest number is carried by complex numbers. And similarly, there are some key calculus topics there, which you can see are getting pretty good attention by students. And the services we are providing are not only to students, but also to institutions. And the UNSW brand of it is almost ready and will be deployed in a week. So these were some facts and figures of the tool. And next, I I would request you to, if you have any smart device with you, a mobile, a tablet, or a computer even, please go to the website. So www.solve, the letter N for Nick, and the word evolve.com. Okay. So now I have to stand here. So we do offer some learning resources which are actually free by most of our academics, like Chris Tisdale, Norman Whiteberger, who's also developing some foundational videos on mathematics, and some other colleagues as well. So these are free learning resources that we refer to while they're doing the quizzes, to get back to some reading material if they want to study something from the scratch. And also there are some lecture notes and web articles. But the main thing there is the diagnostic assessment. And before we jump on to diagnostic assessment, actually, if you just go back to the home page, we do it two ways. So either students go straight to the diagnostic assessment and then play with the quizzes, or they can actually pick their background from here, from this list, and which also includes studying after a gap. And then they can pick the course they intend to study at university. And then they can click submit to, and they'll be guided for a pathway that they can adopt as a step-by-step guide to that. So, but the main data comes from diagnostic assessment directly, where there are modules that are built topic-wise and not course-wise. And if you take the test drive, for example, we have 3 test drive modules there in algebra and calculus, and some information from pre-calculus and pre-algebra, where there are some basic foundational mathematics topics from high school. So for example, if you click on pre-calculus and pre-algebra, and let's go to numeracy and measurement, and then take the quiz. And you'll see that there's a question with a learning outcome, which asks the student to identify a right angle triangle there. And all the triangles have different types of information given. And if someone just picks randomly A and go next, then since A is wrong, they'll get some feedback there, which is specific to the choice A. So that gives them some convergent thinking. Okay, this doesn't work. It doesn't look like a right angle triangle, but what else could it be? So if they don't know about Pythagoras theorem or don't know anything, that's a different case. In that case, they will be guided to something else. But so there is something. So if they pick C, which is the right choice, then they will go to the next question. So unless they pick the right choice, they won't go to the next question, which will give them some convergent thinking to get to the point. Similarly, then there's the next question, which is also about some basic algebraic operations that a high school student needs to know. And they go ahead, and then they, if they, for example, pick this choice and they go next, then since this could be an option, so they're asked a question. Okay, is division preferred over multiplication? So in this way, they keep going, and if we go back to diagnostic assessment, so this was a very lower side of the case, where we discuss actually very basic high school stuff. Let's go to, for example, calculus essentials, which talks about some year 11 and 12 stuff. And if you, for example, if you pick functions, general properties, and graphs, then you will see some high level stuff there, which is done at both 2 units and 3 unit maths. So like, for example, a question about composition of functions, and if you go ahead, then you'll find things like understanding of the notation of again composite functions, but with a higher level of difficulty there. So again, the same process is there, and then there's a question about a function, which has a little bit of higher level of difficulty for students to think about that, and in this way, I mean, this goes ahead, so you can play with it as much as you want, as long as you remember the website and see how it works. It's been in use by many academics as well. It helps in constructing assignments too, sometimes, and gives a good idea as long as I have the feedback. So it sometimes gives a good idea to how to construct questions, or sometimes people do it in the class, and it's been used. So, yeah.
By chance, the child picks up the right answer, but
yeah.
the concept that he has, they're using, it could be wrong. Is there any way for him to know that what he was thinking was the correct way? So the answer could be right, but what he's actually thinking, or the method that he employed, or the concept, he might be, having a difficulty in it. So is there any way that he can be sure about that the concept and the thinking process that he employed to solve is absolutely correct?
Well, first of all, if anyone sits to attempt the quiz, of course they will do some working out before they answer the question. So if the right question is chosen for the first time, there's a good chance that they will be doing it the right way. Otherwise, I mean, they have something in their mind. If they're not clear about that, then they have to work it out themselves. I mean, we're not providing the solutions. Yeah. No. We want actually them to work out. If they don't know anything, we sometimes suggest them to go to that particular learning resource and then study it from scratch. And yeah, so we're just trying not to help them solve the problem, but just to test them, so they can test themselves where they stand.
But like once they get the answers, but they don't have different solutions, like how could they go about it? That is up to.
No, because they can find actually solutions on the website. They can go to any, I mean, there's a lot out there. So we want them to work out. Yes. Anything else? Any other questions? Yes.
Have you had much feedback then from students who have used it, from say mature age students who've come back and done the diagnostic test?
Yes, I actually have some verbal feedback which I did not include. I was thinking I would go over time because I have only, yes. So that's why I didn't include it.
But yes, they like the system, they think it's useful?
85% yes.
Yes, okay.
But we have some negative feedback.
Of course, it's always the
okay,
case. And how much time, nobody else has questions at the moment, how much time do you think students spend using the diagnostic test?
Yeah, the time varies from 4 minutes to 20 minutes, depending on how much a student wants to spend. And sometimes they do the whole quiz and then they submit it, but they also have the choice to do things anonymously because this test drive, and even if they have signed up, and they can do things like partially. So yeah.
So there's no, they're not compelled to do this purely for their own benefit?
Yes, no. This is just for their own benefit. Yeah, just to help them fit into the streamline somewhat if they don't feel like that. Yes.
I don't think you mentioned it, but do you get the analytics as well? So you can see
Yes.
how long a student has spent on each question when
Yes.
they made a mistake, and you can see all the backtracks and everything that's gone wrong.
What do you mean by backtrack?
Well, where they might have made a guess,
Got it wrong.
got it wrong, gone back to that question, got it wrong again perhaps. Do you see that pathway, that everything that the students do?
No, we don't record the pathway yet. If they answered, if they picked up a wrong choice, and they still get a feedback. If they don't think the feedback is enough and they again pick the wrong choice, there's another feedback, but we can't record the way they are going back and forth.
You don't see if they made an error. Do you see the errors that they make? You do see when they make a wrong choice?
That's the only error they can make.
But that gets given back to you. So as a teacher, can you see
Oh
student
yes, I got
10,
your point.
student 10
Yes.
guessed 2B,
Yes.
got it wrong.
On their
Yes.
result sheet,
Yes.
yes, it is mentioned how many questions they attempted, and how many were attempted for the first attempt. And yes, so actually we have some ranks over there. So if a student attempts the question correctly for the first time, they do it, and they do it for like more than 8 questions out of 10, then they are kings and queens. Otherwise they are rooks and bishops, and otherwise they are pawns. So like that. So they get all the results over there on the result sheet. So number of first attempts, and this shows how many attempts they made wrong before they came to the right.
I guess I'm wondering, is it possible to provide more directed feedback? So for instance, they take the quiz, they make the same sort of error many times, and they get told, you need to go away and look at your fractions. Or
and the fissure, yes.
Yes, so you're looking at doing that sort of...
Yes,
yeah.
We are developing, and of course this is one of the very important feedback. And actually I would appreciate if you go to the website and there's a feedback form, and please, please write it there so it is recorded and we can act on it. Yeah, thank you. Anything else? Yes.
Does it take them to, if they make a certain mistake, does it take them to a different question depending on which mistake they made?
No.
Or doesn't do that? Some I've seen, it's actually built in that depending on which mistake they make, it takes them to something that helps them.
Yeah, you're
Gives them
probably
some basis to fix that mistake.
Yeah, that would be even more adaptive actually if the system picks up what's wrong there and then takes to a lighter question or something, a less level of difficulty. Yes, we haven't been able to integrate that so far because we are quite young. The website is quite young, so, but yes, that's also a good thing that can be incorporated. Yeah.
Any other questions?
So you mentioned that institutions can subscribe.
Yes.
Like high schools be able to subscribe.
Yes, any institution can subscribe, and that will be actually cheaper for students because normally a student pays $50 for 6 months, but if you subscribe for a group, it's a lot cheaper depending on the number of users. And you can also get licensing to use this portal, and you can also get your own brain developed like we did for UNSW, and that will be coming up soon.
Any other questions? All right, can we all thank Atiya for her presentation?